With me on the line today is Capital Network's Scott Finlay. Scott, good morning.
Good morning.
Just a reminder, for Scott's full report, click on the eye in the top right-hand corner of your screen. We're talking Kasbah Resources. Scott, first off, give us a quick couple of words, a bit of an introduction to the company, if you would.
Okay, thank you. So Kasbah Resources has been listed in Australia since 2007, and it's kept its focus on a tin project in Morocco for all that period of time. It's in the final stages of reviewing a mine development plan, which will be released to the market, I think at the end of June this year. Now we expect to be looking at a tin production starting in about second half of 2020, around about 4,700 tonnes per annum of tin, which is in today's money about $100 million in revenue. And that sort of period will go for about 10 years. So from a junior miner perspective, this is the very beginning of a new production story.
Indeed, so as you say, we're expecting that mine plan, the DFS, some of those numbers out in June, and then I suppose all eyes on sorting out the financing.
That's correct. So before the company can generate that sort of revenue, they've got to finance the project. So the project needs to be funded, and what we're expecting is the next few steps will be end of June. We'll expect to see the final numbers from the company as to where they expect capital costs to be, how much production they expect to produce, and it will be those figures that you'll be able to assess the value of the company. It'll be those figures that they will approach the banks to then look at financing the project.
I suppose, Scott, worth a couple of words on Morocco itself. It's probably fair to say it's not the first place you think of when discussing mining, is it? Well,
that'd be right. I mean, you normally think of places like Australia and Canada and South Africa, but Morocco is a very interesting place when you get into it. It may surprise people to learn that it's the world's third largest producer of phosphate, and that the mining industry in Morocco accounts for 10% of its GDP. So from a mining perspective, it's focused mainly on that commodity, but in the last few years, there's been a new set of mining rules to attract foreign investment. So one of those, the benefits there is a lower corporate tax rate of 17.5%, stable inflation in the country, interest rates on par with most Western democracies, and GDP growth above 4%. So it's all very attractive. There's a non-for-profit institute in Canada known as the Fraser Institute that researches, does an annual survey on companies or where CEOs want to invest their money. And a few years ago when Morocco featured in the survey, it actually ranked above Australia. So it's actually a very interesting part of the world if you're a mining investor.
Certainly sounds it, Scott. Just a final word then, I suppose, 16 or thereabouts, market cap for Kasbah Resources, around about $16 million. What's your take on that? Is that a fair value?
Well, that's a good question. So in our valuation, once things are in production and the company has passed its major milestones, we're looking at a valuation upside of around $100 million. So at this stage, I would say that you've got an opportunity to have a look at a company that's undervalued with respect to where its potential could be. And the management team, the new management team, have a track record of putting small mines into production. I mean, the last thing the CEO did was to construct the tungsten mine in Heberden, down in the UK, in Devon.
That's brilliant, Scott. Look, thanks very much indeed. A reminder for Scott's full report, click on the eye on the top right-hand corner of your screen.